Hello there guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all keeping well. Hope you all had a good weekend. Today's video is not a Spurs related video. It's going to be something that I think is going to be discussed by a lot of football Twitter, football YouTube, Sky Sports News, all that sort of stuff, sports media in the next couple of days. Now, following Everton's 2-0 win over Liverpool in the Premier League on Saturday night, first win for Everton at Anfield in a very, very, very long time. I can't remember the exact number of years, but I thought now would be a good time to talk about what's happened with Jurgen Klopp, with Liverpool, because they have seen a massive, massive drop-off in performances, in form, just everything about the club. It seems very, very flat at the moment. Now, obviously there's quite a few factors. I could be here for a very long time talking about this, but just thought I'd make, a video giving my thoughts on what I thought has happened and where, things might start to pick back up again in the next weeks, months, who knows. So, the first thing that obviously you need to discuss is the gap in where they are now compared to where they are in the last 2 years. Now, I'll put some of the stats up on the screen, but if you have a look at where they were this time last season, of course, won their first league title for 30 years last season. They absolutely walked it, didn't they? If you just have a look at the drop-off between now and then, it's quite staggering. So I'll put up an image of where they were after 25 games this last season, which is obviously where we are now, good benchmark. 25 games, obviously 2/3 of a way through a season now. As you can see on the screen now, they played 25 and they had 73 points after 25 games. 22 points ahead of their nearest challengers, Man City, who of course are, I wouldn't say running away with it this season, but 18 straight wins in a row. I think City are going to win the league quite comfortably. But as you can see, they were absolutely flying last year. Compare that to this year. I'll put the league table up on the screen now. They are 25 games they've played this season, 40 points, 19 points behind City this season. So, what's that? So 40 points, 73 points last season. That's a 33-point difference in a year, which is obviously huge, isn't it? You can tell that, the confidence is on the floor of the players at the club. Results haven't been good enough. You have a look at the league games that they're losing at home. Brighton, Burnley both turned them over, just not good enough. I think they drew with West Brom as well, didn't they, at Anfield? It's very, very alarming, not just for Liverpool fans, but for neutrals as well, who take a look at this and wonder what's going on. Now, of course, everybody's got their reasons or, got their thoughts, got their opinions as to what's been going on. For me, I think it's quite clear. Liverpool have been absolutely battered by injuries this season. And I think the single biggest reason for what has happened is the loss of Virgil van Dijk and the loss of Joe Gomez at centre-half. Now, when you lose one of them two, obviously that's going to be a very big hole to fill. But when you lose two, arguably two of the best central defenders in the Premier League, when you put them together, it makes sense that they're going to be two of the best defensive partnership in the league. Virgil van Dijk, since he's been at Liverpool, has been probably the best centre-half in the league, probably the best centre-half in Europe. He's Imperious, Rolls-Royce of a defender. When Jordan Pickford absolutely clattered into him at Goodison Park earlier on this season, wrote him off for the season, I think that was when it all started to go wrong for Liverpool. Now, Jurgen Klopp, obviously, couldn't foresee this happening. The massive drop-off of performance isn't solely down to Van Dijk, but when I think, you lose Gomez and Matip for spells as well, and you end up putting your club captain in Jordan Henderson at centre-half and Fabinho at centre-half, who's your best defensive midfielder at the club as well, what you lack going forward is massive, because with those two midfielders dropping in, you're losing that start of the build-up from midfield. Obviously, Jordan Henderson is very, very good at intercepting play alongside Fabinho in those two deeper line midfield roles with one ahead of them. They were absolutely brilliant last season in working together, closing down in packs, starting off attacks. And when you lose that in the midfield, the players that you get in have to be as good as them, and unfortunately they're not. Taking nothing away from players like James Milner, Curtis Jones and players like that, they haven't got the same skill set as Henderson and Fabinho. So I think that is huge, because what you had in Liverpool last season as a title-winning team was a finely tuned Jurgen Klopp team, which were every player knew their job. In the midfield, the heartbeat of his side, along with the fullbacks, I feel, with Jurgen Klopp's teams, which is what makes them so successful. When you lose that halfway through a season and you can't bring anyone else in, Klopp then has to rapidly rethink his expectations of the season and his tactics. Now, pre-season obviously is usually when you can try and implement something new. Due to the number of games that you have during the week, not much time for radical changes in training. It's more just sharpness and match tactics to try and get another 3 points on the board. And I think that's been a massive reason as to what's been going on. That's my opinion on where I think they've obviously really dropped off. The loss of them two players has been enormous. Don't think Kabak's up to it, to be honest. I mean, I've seen him in the last couple of weeks. Of course he's young. Of course he's come into a bit of a cauldron of fire there, expectations are massive at Liverpool, and for a very young defender coming out the back of a dreadful Schalke team, he's not going to be the answer, I know, but doesn't seem to be the most convincing with balls over the top. He seems a bit rash as well with the yellow cards that he's received. Of course, the other thing that you need to consider as well is that 2 years of absolutely relentless performances in the Premier League and in the Champions League, remember, is going to take its toll on this set of players. I think Jamie Carragher highlighted Andy Robertson. Trent in particular is looking very off the ball this season. That's simply because of the number of games they've played, and in this Klopp system, the intensity in which they play at. Just written down here, in the 1920 season, they gathered 99 points, still didn't win the league. They did win the league in 1920 with 99 points. And in the 18-19 season, when City won it, they got 97 points. So in the space of 2 seasons, you've amassed nearly 200 points. That in any level of football, any level of sport is unattainable, and there will be a drop-off at some point. Obviously, with the win in the Champions League as well, and, winning this league title, the players' motivation might not be there. And have they had the funds to fully refresh the squad? I don't think they have as well. So you also have to have a look at that. There was going to be a drop-off at some point. City had it last year. I think they lost 9 Premier League games. So, it's not unusual for this team to have a little bit of a drop-off. Is Klopp still the right man for it? Absolutely, without a doubt. I don't think there's any doubt about that. If there's one man that can oversee, maybe the departure of one of Mane, Salah, Firmino, or 2 of them to bring in new blood, I think he's absolutely the right guy to do it. Players run through brick walls for him. But I think this is going to be a period of transition for Liverpool now when, you have a look at how good City are. They're absolutely flying. I think that, for them to even challenge Guardiola's City whilst he is at the club, for Klopp to do that and to break that monopoly of the league is a fantastic achievement. And Liverpool fans shouldn't be too downbeat about it. I mean, this season, so many weird things are happening. Everybody's beating everyone. I think that, like I say, the drop-off was a little bit inevitable. Fans shouldn't be too disheartened about it. Obviously, if they finish top 4, it's going to be a massive blow for that rebuilding project with a lack of funds that will be coming in. But I think that overall, Liverpool are in a pretty good place. Obviously, the owners care about the club. They've done a great job there. There is some doubts about FSG and John Henry, but I think that in the main, they will back Klopp with the money that he needs in the summer to go out and really strengthen this side. That's what my view is on it at the moment. It's just, one of them things where a club that has been performing at such a high level for so long has had that drop off. Obviously, fans are going to, give Liverpool stick on Twitter and stuff like that, but it's to be expected. Man United have gone through it and stuff like that. It's nothing. Don't think there's any real malice in it. But yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting until the end of the season to see exactly how Liverpool fare. Will they reach a top four? It's looking unlikely at the moment, but if there's if there's a team that can string together a real run of results to get in that top four, Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool, with that mentality that he's instilled there, are certainly likely to do it. So, let me know what your thoughts are on Liverpool. Where do they go from here? Will they string together the run of results to get back in that top four? Maybe challenge for the Champions League. I think that's a bit beyond them at the moment. They might focus on that league, getting back in the top four as the season progresses. But yeah, until next time, guys, I'll be making a couple more videos this week on a few bits and bobs that's going on. Remember to keep safe. Hopefully lockdown's not too long away now, from being lifted. And keep enjoying the football. Keep washing your hands and all that stuff. I'll see you soon. Take care. See you later.